Snowfall Season 5 Episode 8 breakdown. This episode is entitled Celebration, and there are some really amazing aspects in this episode, and some interesting Easter eggs as well. But for the most part, this episode was kind of frustrating because the storyline didn't move ahead, it just provided more unanswered questions. I was expecting by now the drama would be unfolding, but I was wrong. This season and the writers is totally different from the previous ones, and I'm still highly entertained and is enjoyable, but it's just not the same show that I was used to. But I still love the show nonetheless. Let's kick things off with some comments, as usual, from you guys, some of your interesting theories and thoughts. Kelsey says Louie's greed is going to get her killed, or Jerome. If Jerome does die and it has nothing to do with Louie's greed, I feel that it'll be the guy that he beat up that will come back for him. Like you said, there's a plethora of possibilities. Also, I may have missed it, but where's Wanda? That has been a valid question in the comment section for weeks now, along with where's everybody in Arkansas. Jeremiah Robertson said, thanks for the good video. I think a big part of Leon not wanting to kill as much is how long he's been doing it. He's drained and sees different visions. Everybody talking about Louie going a different direction. I think Leon will break off, not by betrayal. And then this comment from Big Kane, who says, 100%. I'm watching episode 8 again, trying to see what I initially missed. Can you do one breakdown for just the interaction between Franklin and himself? That alone needs a breakdown. It was deep and great acting and writing in that scene. Dameson is good. And because of this suggestion from Big Kane, I am going to make a totally separate video for just the conversation between Franklin's younger self and Franklin of now. Gage says, when Franklin tells Jerome about his baby, Jerome says something along the lines of, name him Jerome. And that seems like a hell of a foreshadowing for Jerome's death, and now he's proposing to Louie. That's a really valid point. I could totally see that if Jerome dies, naming the baby after Jerome. That makes a lot of sense, if we get that far. And then I really wanted to share this comment as well. It's from Apocalypse Doberman. It says, where are these comments coming from? Love this channel. Yeah, they came from the comment section, and now you're in the video as well. And then lastly, I'm gonna include this comment from Amber Morgan, which is not necessarily a theory or anything like this, but I've been seeing this in the comment section a lot. She said, I fell off of Snowfall after season 2. Thank you so much for these recaps and breakdowns, so much. Now can you do one for Power, Top Boy, or even The Shy? I'd love to see more content. Now, let's have this conversation. I've been getting a lot of BMF, Power, Top Boy, The Shy, Atlanta. Like, is that something that you guys really want? If that's something that you guys really want me to do, I'm strongly considering it at this point. Please drop a comment down below letting me know, yes, indeed, I do want to see more TV show series breakdowns. And I'll potentially look into doing some of those later on this year. Because everything that I'm doing is for you guys. Whatever content that you thoroughly enjoy is the content that I want to bring. Because I am absolutely grateful for everybody that subscribed. And speaking of that, if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and bell notification, because I am on the road to 15,000 subscribers this year. So whatever I have to do to make that goal come true, I will absolutely do it. But in the meantime, thank you guys for supporting this channel, and let's get to the video. Before I get to the episode, I want to say I noticed a very clever detail about how this episode started. Franklin has 3 women in his life, his mom, Louie, and Veronique. And all 3 of them started this episode by going behind his back, betraying him on a different level. All 3 women went to a man who is invested in Franklin and his business in one way or the other. Very clever parallel, but also this could essentially be the writer saying we don't know who to trust for his impending doom. This episode started with Louie going behind Franklin's back and connecting with Teddy and cutting Franklin completely out. Louie has been wanting to speak to Teddy all season long so she could do this. And now that her wedding is approaching, she is finally ready to sever all ties. And Franklin has been trying to keep her away from him because of 2 things. 1, he thinks he can handle everything, but 2, he is unclear of Teddy's intentions for him and his family. Then Sissy goes behind his back with Ruben and informs him of the wedding where he can spy on everyone he needs to. Next to go behind his back is Veronique, which is a ridiculous conversation she has, but I do thoroughly enjoy this Kane character. Very hospitable, courteous, and respectful. A stand-up street cat for sure.
It's chocolate fountain, you can dip fresh strawberries.
Foreshadowing.
I talked to Teddy today. He agreed to sell us.
I think I'll take that drink.
Jerome is not cool with Louie's decision, but he wants to support her, but his family means the world to him, which kind of let me know even further that one of them is sure to die. It could go both ways. Louie is taken out and Jerome is a mess and probably leaves the business, or Jerome is killed and Louie turns into even more of a problem for Franklin. Comment down below what y'all see happening with Jerome and Louie. Everyone is at the wedding except for Teddy. A lot of people have been asking about Arkansas, and they're here. People have been asking about Wanda, she's here. And outside in the van, listening, is Tony from the DEA, who has a vendetta out for Franklin, Gustavos, and especially Teddy. Also, they do have security on high alert just in case something goes down. Now, while the preacher is praying, this psycho Scully is over there plotting on the chocolate, man. Franklin takes the most amount of this chocolate-covered LSD, which is interesting because he probably has the most amount of demons to unpack than anybody else at this party. Veronique declines the strawberry, which I saw some comments which insinuated that maybe she knew about it, but I think this was more of a passive way for them not to complicate the storyline with a pregnant woman being high on acid and the effects of that, etc., etc.
What the fuck is happening?
Proud of you, girl.
The fuck? Did you see something just run across the table? Oh, maybe a squirrel or something?
Franklin's starting to feel the effects early. You can see right here, Sissy recognizes something is off with Franklin, but she doesn't necessarily catch on, I guess.
Only with the death of ego can we walk the high path.
This line from Scully is very potent and relevant for things to come. Franklin begins to hallucinate, and the first one that we see is him on stage alone, with people chuckling and whispering, but he sees no one in the crowd. I think this is an inside look into how it feels to be Franklin Saint. It's just you. You alone with the spotlight right on you while you know people are talking behind your back, scheming and laughing at your failures. That's a brief glimpse into his world, and that's a lonely thought right there. Next, he looks in the mirror and his face melts, which is a common hallucination on acid. Rob uses this analogy.
Well, my father used to say that what goes around comes around.
What the fuck does that mean, huh?
Means you can only do so much fucking before you finally end up fucked.
Which is fitting because of the industry that his dad was in. The interesting thing about these scenes are they are a true reflection of Franklin's guilty conscience. He really is disturbed by the evils he's committed.
Dose everybody with LSD.
Sissy tells Jerome what's happening, and he says,
Niggas gonna lose their shit.
which is a good point. It's probably not the greatest idea to dose everyone in a single location with psychedelic drugs when no one is aware of what's going on. That is actually a recipe for disaster. What happened in this episode is far more tame than what could have gotten out of hand. The music selection here is hilarious.
You know I would never do anything to hurt you.
She keeps saying this, and that's why what she is doing is going to directly affect and hurt him. It won't be her intentions, but it certainly will be the outcome.
What's wrong? I got a son that puts white people above their father and money before God. That's what's wrong.
Wow. This is where everyone's true feelings come out.
I want freedom, and all you have to offer is death.
Sissy says she wants freedom. Basically, she wants Franklin to be free of the CIA and Teddy and free from the drug game. But she realizes that all of this will end in death or incarceration, which is the equivalent.
What's wrong?
The KGB man from Cuba wants to kill Franklin.
KGB man from Cuba. So now we know who Ruben is working for, or posing to work for. Bro, this right here is so funny. Franklin tucking in this pretend gun. That's a very little minute detail of acting there.
What's in your mind has brought all of us to this moment.
That's it right there. This is a visual representation of how troubled, twisted, and dark Franklin's mind is.
Because the only way we can survive is to betray you.
The only way they can survive is to betray him, and that's what they are doing. It's a callback to the beginning and predictions and assumptions that we've all made throughout the season.
Franklin, is that you?
Put me in business. Made me rich.
You can see that this scene is different from the rest. This is where Franklin's hallucinations commingle with reality. We see a phone, and then we hear this conversation transition from the phone to Franklin's perceived reality, but it's still on the phone recorded audio. I think Franklin telling Teddy that he's going to kill him, unknowingly telling Teddy that he's going to kill him, is a much bigger deal than people realize. Franklin's conversation with his younger self is such an acting clinic. I'm going to do a full breakdown on this conversation, and it should be out at the exact same time as this video. Just check that video out. I really want to break that thing down line by line. And that video idea, of course, did come from Big Kane, like I mentioned at the beginning. After that, Franklin starts to come down, and it's just a sobering reality for him. I think that this is very eye-opening experience for him, and like somebody left in the comment section of the short, potentially Scully's gift could have saved Franklin in his life. Teddy is indeed stealing Franklin's bank documents. Louie and Franklin have this conversation, and as they do so, Kane is potentially under attack, and Louie kisses Franklin on the lips. And I found that kind of strange at first, and then I realized, or I thought, maybe he's still hallucinating, and that's what he's realizing now. But it was still some truth in that hallucination that he saw and heard. That's why his face looks like this. Interesting thought. I think he was hallucinating. It's so much stuff that's going on, I don't even understand how it's all gonna unravel by episode 9 and 10. Thank goodness that we at least have one more season left. Well, that's it, guys. I definitely want to thank you guys for being a part of this episode again. I mean, we only got 2 more episodes left in this season. I want to thank you guys so very much for your love, your support, and if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and bell notification, and go check out the full breakdown on the Franklin versus Franklin conversation. It's out on my page right now, and until next time, man, I'm out.